I could sit here and apply blush for hours, and I probably will. Hey, welcome to my video. If you're from my Instagram, I love you, and if you're not from my Instagram, love you all the same. Today, I'm here to try some new products and create this little look right here. So if you're into product reviews mixed with like get ready with me's, then I think this might be the video for you. And if that's the case, then please keep watching. So these are the products that we have here today. Now, all of these were bought in Sephora except for the Trixie Cosmetics products, which were of course ordered online. Now, small disclaimer here, I'm not in any way, shape or form an affiliate of Trixie Cosmetics. They literally do not know that I exist. I bought this all with my own money. I just frequently purchase a lot of their products because I do enjoy the innovation that they have going on, what with the packaging as well as the types of products that they come out with. But yeah, now that we saw what we're working with, we can really get into it. So, as you can see, the only thing that is on my face are my eyebrows, but that's about it. So we're gonna begin with the eyes as usual. Now, before we actually really get into that, I'm gonna use the Lano Lips Ointment and I'm gonna put it on my lips. And I like to do this with lip balms before I actually start any of my makeup routine. I just apply this, so by the time that I get to the lips, they're nice and soft and prepped and ready. I have tried their ointments before. I believe I have it in a watermelon scent or flavor. And it glides on really smoothly. It feels like it's gonna moisturize my lips nicely, and I do like the scent. So let's begin with the eyes. I feel like I want to use the Play Pigments by Trixie Cosmetics as eyeshadow bases for most of this look. And so for that reason, I'm not gonna apply an eyeshadow primer. The only thing I am applying is just a little layer of foundation on my eyes because I have a lot of visible veins there that I don't want popping out. So I'm gonna apply the Play Pigments on this little palette first, and then pick them up with a brush and apply them to my eye. So I'm first taking a little bit of the pink Play Pigment. This shade is called Finisher, and it's actually really pretty pigmented right out the gate. And I'm just applying it on my moving lid. I don't want to bring it too high up because I am going to use the white Play Pigment in combination with the pink to create sort of like a softer pink to blend this one out. So right now I want it to look sort of like this. Now the pigments are supposed to dry and not crack, so I will let you know how that actually goes. But yeah, the vibes for today are we're sort of creating this pink smoky eye. Nothing too fancy. I just want to see how these perform. So I want the color to be the most pigmented, the closest to the lash line as I can get. And I think it would be best to work in the layers with a product like this. So I think that's what I'm going for. Right, so now I mixed in a little bit of that pink and white to hopefully get like a little tiny gradient going on. And now hopefully I'm gonna blend it. We'll see how good this actually blends before it dries. Okay, so far it does look lighter. It's not patchy, it's blending well. Now I am working quickly with these pigments, but honestly I'm not rushing. But I also have used other products that are similar before that dry down inconveniently quickly to the point that where you place them is pretty much where and how you want them to look. And with this so far, I'm finding that I can blend it out pretty well, and I'm not really in too much of a hurry. And it's also not, as far as I can see, disrupting the foundation I put on my eyes. It's not working against it, it's working with it. This could pretty much be a finished look, and I feel like it would be an easy thing for beginners to blend. Now I'm gonna kick it up a notch just a little bit, and I am gonna add a little bit more of that pink like I said, and I think I maybe even try to add just a teensy bit of the black in the very outer corners just to give this look some depth. Now, this might be a mistake and it might not turn out. And if so, you're on this journey here with me. Welcome. Sometimes we make fatal, catastrophic mistakes on this channel, but that's completely okay as we are all human. So let's dive in. Now, while I clean off my brush, let me tell you a little bit about the ointment that I have on. I think it's very pretty. It looks like a little bit of a lip gloss, but it does feel like a nice moisturizing Vaseline, so work. Now, I'm not gonna use a lot of this. I dabbed a lot or most of it off onto the palette, and I'm just using whatever is left for just a little bit of depth. You know what? It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. Obviously, it doesn't perform like an eyeshadow in that way, but once I blend it in, I think it'll do pretty much what I wanted it to. Okay, so now that that's mostly done, I'm just using a little bit of foundation and a flat brush to clean up the edges of this look. So now it looks kind of like this. I'm just gonna apply a little bit of a shimmer unrelated onto my lid because that's just what I prefer. And then I might line my lash line and we're gonna be done with the look. For now, after I apply the base and everything, I'm gonna just smudge a little bit of the colors on my lower lash line. But for now, I think we're good. And there we have it, you guys. Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied. I will say that the pink Play Pigment did stain one of the brushes that I used from this collection to apply it with. I did try to clean it off with quick drying brush cleaning spray. It still looks a little stained, but I'm sure that once I actually properly wash the brush, it'll come out and it'll be fine. But that's just something to note. Now let's move on to the base. Okay, it's hot, it's summer. First, we have to start out with the Sugar Goop.
You guys, I really thought it was Sugar Goop all this time. Meanwhile, it's Super Goop. Like, what an idiot.
Play sunscreen. Now I'm sure by this point everybody and their mothers have tried this. I of course have not. I just got it. I will say I did wear it today and I was pretty satisfied. So far it didn't break me out, which for me is a miracle in and of itself. Also, it feels more like a moisturizer and it doesn't leave a very thick greasy film on the skin. It smells sort of citrusy in my opinion. I don't know if I love or hate that personally. Like, it sort of reminds me of some kind of a cleaning product, like a bathroom cleaner or something. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something like that. But besides that, I actually do really like it so far. However, this will be the perfect opportunity to see how it performs underneath makeup. So as far as foundation goes, because I have 2 new concealers to test out today, I'm just using my regular foundation, just so that if anything goes wrong, I know that for sure it is the concealers and not some foundation that I don't normally use and wouldn't know how it reacts. So let me put the foundation on and I'll be right back. So here I am with the foundation fully on. Tried to put a little bit less on than I normally do because it is really hot here. However, I don't think I succeeded, but that's just besides the point, girl. So I have a Tarte and a Fenty Beauty concealer here, and first I have the Shape Tape by Tarte. Now this I have used a bunch. I recently just got back into using it. However, the shade that I had that I shade matched myself with is just a little bit dark for me and always has been, so I got this one. So yeah, we're gonna try this. And then I have a Fenty Beauty concealer on the other side. This is the We're Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer. So let's begin. I just put some of the Tarte concealer on the Trixie Cosmetics palette first, and now I'm picking it up with a brush, and I'm just gonna apply it on any spots that I have imperfections on. Honestly, it still looks just a tiny bit dark in person. I don't know how the camera is picking it up, but we're gonna blend it out. It's fine. Even if it's not 100% of a match, I can completely work with it. This is fine, no notes. So I guess let's move on to the Fenty now. Now this is sort of like a peachy shade, and I applied about that much. I don't know how much is enough. I've never tried this concealer before, but we'll see. And I'm just blending that in with my ring finger because that's what I normally do. Okay, I mean, my dark circles certainly are covered. So far, so good, but now let's see on this side. I call this my problematic eye. So we're really gonna see what's the tea here. Okay, so sometimes depending on the pigmentation of the concealer, I apply a second layer. For this one, I don't think I need to be honest. This seems pigmented enough, so let me just set it. And I'm gonna use the same powder that I always use for this because I always know how it reacts, and also it pairs well with pretty much any foundation and concealer. So it is a safe bet, but I'm not baking. I'm immediately just gonna dab it into the skin. Okay, the coverage on this Fenty concealer is pretty bomb. I used 1 layer and it definitely has more coverage than my foundation, which I did also use a layer of. Now again, I used a little bit of a lighter layer than I normally do, but still. So now I'm just going to bronze the face with the bronzer that I normally use, because as you saw, we do have a new blush to test out. And if you want to know one thing about me, it's that I am a person who is highly obsessed with blush. I just love blush so much. So testing out new blush is actually really fun for me. Now this is a Sephora brand blush and they call this cream, but I did swatch this in the store and I don't recall that it's a cream formula, but let me see here. Yeah, okay, so I'm swatching it with my finger now. It definitely is a cream. So I'm gonna take my usual blush brush, dip it into the cream right here, and then I'm just gonna apply it to my cheeks. Ooh, and the pigmentation is pretty good, although if you have been on this channel for longer than 2 minutes, you know that I normally abuse blush. I tend to end up looking like a clown, and that's just how I like it. So today will probably be no different, but yeah, I really do like this shade. It's so glowy and pretty. Okay, is this overkill? Probably, but do I care? No. Okay, so that's all the new products that I had to test today. Honestly, I'm gonna go finish my face off camera, just put on some color on my lower lash line, apply mascara, and do my lips really quickly, and then I'll be back here to talk to you about these products. Okay, and this is the fully completed face, and now let's talk. So first of all, let's talk about these Play pigments. Honestly, personally, I love them. As you can see, my eyeshadow look is very nicely blended, no harsh lines, wasn't hard to work with. They also blended nicely between themselves. I used the pink and the white one together and they were perfect. Also didn't disrupt, disturb, or remove any of the foundation I had on underneath. So all in all, I'm very happy about that. I will be using these more. I was also considering using this one as like a blush, or at least a base for a blush, which I think would be sickening, and I'm definitely gonna do in some other upcoming video. But yeah, other than that, I love these. I think that if Trixie Cosmetics came out with these in like nude brown shades, it would honestly be game over, and these would probably replace any eyeshadow palettes or single eyeshadows that I normally take with me when I travel, because they would definitely be much more compact. Now, the set of brushes that are in this collection, I used 3. All 3 I was perfectly satisfied with. Obviously, you know, I can't talk about their longevity or if they fray or not. That's something that I will find out through time, but I do have some other Trixie Cosmetics brushes and those still serve me pretty well. So I think that overall won't be an issue, but do remind me to talk about these at some point in the future just to confirm that. Next up, we have this adorable little heart-shaped palette. Honestly, I've been wanting to get a makeup palette like this for a long while because I normally just use my hand as my palette, which is not professional, but besides the point, then my hand is always stained. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a palette, but it's like I felt that I wanted a really extra cute one because this heart-shaped one is adorable and it does the job. Also, you do get it in this little traveling pouch, which I feel like would be easy to clean, and you get a spatula with it as well, which I didn't have a need for today, but I'm sure gonna be using it at some point later on in the future. Okay, concealer. So the Tarte Shape Tape Radiant is just like the regular Shape Tape, except just like the name suggests, it does leave a slightly radiant finish. Nothing too crazy. It's not glowy. It's not unbearable. It doesn't by any means look like highlighter or something like that. It just leaves the skin looking like it's dewy naturally. Coverage, medium to full. Pretty happy about that. And then we have the Fenty Beauty Concealer, which honestly, I am pretty blown away by. And the shade is also perfect for me. It also did not oxidize. So overall, I'm pretty happy. In person, it looks really good, healthy. It looks like I got a good night's rest, which not every concealer, doesn't matter the coverage, it does for me. So honestly, work. So next up, we have the sunscreen we tried here today. And honestly, so far, we're looking good. The face is not too greasy. It wasn't difficult to work with. It did not disrupt anything. So that's good. Sometimes, however, the sunscreen starts looking a little wonky in combination with the makeup for me later on after a few hours of wear. So I obviously can't predict whether or not that's gonna happen, but if it does, I will let you know. Lastly, I did forget to show you this bit. I'm sorry, my camera was off. However, we do have the Professional Super Setter Setting Spray. Now, the reason that I got this is honestly just because I love the Professional Primer, so I thought that I might like this too. I applied it normally So far, looks great. I can't yet attest to the longevity of this product, but if it is anything like the primer, I think I will be happy and I will update you in the future. But so far, again, so good. The one thing that I can say right now that I do like about this is that the mist is in fact very fine, just like it said on the packaging, and it also does not contain alcohol. So for me, that's a W. And last but certainly not least, we have the Sephora blush. This shade is beautiful. It's like a pinky peachy with gold reflects. It blends into the skin beautifully. You could use your finger to apply this. You could use a beauty blender. I used the brush and it went on flawlessly. Again, it didn't disrupt any of the other makeup that I had going on already on my face. And it looks really healthy and glowy. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied with everything that I tried today, and I will be using all of these products more, so if you see them in a future video, now you know. But with all of that being said, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, then please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!